Hi, I'm Molly. Today we're going to be taking a look into Snapshot Groups available on all DiGiCo SD and Quantum consoles. A quick note before we start, the behaviour of Snapshot Groups is very different when using the standard live software compared to our theatre software. This video will focus on the live software. If you want to learn more about the theatre software, then check out our YouTube channels for videos about T software. Snapshot groups allow you to make changes to multiple snapshots with the press of a single button. Depending on the mode that you're in, these changes can either be absolute or relative. Snapshot groups could be used as scenes in a musical theatre production or songs for a band. For example, you may have multiple snapshots for one song, an intro section, a guitar solo where the level of the guitar is increased, and an outro section where the guitar is turned back down again. You could put all of these snapshots into one group to help manage these changes in levels. As I mentioned, snapshot groups can work in two modes, absolute or relative. This mode is changed with the Relative Groups button at the bottom of the Snapshots panel. We'll look into the differences between these two modes later on in the video. When you're using snapshot groups, you can still update individual snapshots with the Update Current or Update Selected buttons. First, let's look at the controls. On the left of the Snapshots panel is the Groups button. Pressing this button will bring up the Snapshot Groups panel. In here, you can view all the snapshot groups in your session, as well as all the snapshot members in each group. Press New Group to create a new snapshot group. The keyboard will then pop up for you to name this group. To add members to each group, select Change Members and select or deselect snapshots in the Snapshots panel. Snapshots in a group do not have to be next to each other. This could be useful if you have a reprise of a song later on in the show. You could add the first instance of the song and the reprise into the same group. Snapshots can be members of only one group at a time. If you select a snapshot that's already in a group, it will remove it from the original group and add it to the new group. When you have finished selecting your snapshots, deselect Change Members. In the Snapshot Groups panel, there's also a Merge button. This will merge the currently selected group, let's pick Group 4, into the next group that you select. If I pick Group 2, you'll see that the members from Group 4 have been merged into Group 2. This panel also has a Rename button to change the name of a group and a Delete button to delete a single group or a range of groups. When a snapshot is not assigned to a group, the default text colour is black. If you're using absolute groups, the snapshots in groups will have blue text. If you're using relative groups, then this will be red text. The group name will also be displayed in the right column of the Snapshots panel. Now, let's take a look at the functionality of snapshot groups, starting with relative groups. When in relative groups mode, if you make a change to a DB controller, such as a fader, and then press Update Group, this change in fader level will be written relatively to all snapshots in the group. This means that if you move a fader up by 10 dB and press Update Group, this plus 10 dB change will be written to all snapshots regardless of their original state. And you're not limited to using this for just faders. It works for all DB controllers, EQ gain, aux send levels, etc. But mostly it's used for adjusting fader levels. Let's have a look at this in action. I have set different fader values for each of these three snapshots. In the first, the fader is at 0 dB, minus 5 dB in the second, and minus 10 dB in the last one. I'm going to move the fader up by 10 dB and press Update Group while in relative mode. Now, in Snapshot 1, the fader is at plus 10 dB. In Snapshot 2, it's at plus 5 dB, and 0 dB in the last. An example use of this is if you've got a song with a guitar solo and you've made multiple snapshots for the song, including a snapshot for the solo where the guitar fader level is increased. You may start the song and find the guitar player has turned their amp up slightly. You can pull the fader down to compensate and update the group. Since this is a relative change, it means that the guitar will still get louder for the solo, but not to the original level before you made the change. Alternatively, you could put all of your snapshots into one group. Then when you make a change, you can choose if it's a change for just the snapshot you're in which case you press Update Current, or if it's a change you'd like to update across your entire set list, then you'd press Update Group. Non-dB controls, such as dynamic times, mutes and pans, will follow the same rule as all controllers in absolute mode. In absolute mode, when you change a control and press Update Group, this change will only be written to snapshots that have exactly the same starting value. If your channel pan has the same value in all of your snapshots, then changing it and pressing Update Group will write this value to all snapshots in the group. If one of your snapshots has a different starting value, then this snapshot will not be changed when you press Update Group. Like most snapshot functions, there is a scope for snapshot groups. Down the left-hand side of the snapshots panel, under Scope, is the Group and Auto Update scope. In here, you can select which channel parameters are included in this update group. This scope works per snapshot. As with other per snapshot scopes, it's best to start with all snapshots behaving in the same way, and you can use the Edit All function to set the scopes the same for all of the snapshots. You can then change them if you need to. Snapshot groups do not work at the same time as Auto Update in the standard live software. If you turn on Auto Update, then this will prevent you from pressing the Update Group button. Hopefully you found this video useful, and if you're watching live and have any questions, put them in the comments section and we'll be here to answer them for you. For more videos, visit our YouTube channel.